We start standing up for them, we won't get their attention. People telling you that the black boy doesn't want to learn, the black boy doesn't want to go to school. How big of a lie is that? The black boy wants to learn as much as everyone else. Have you ever seen a child on his first day of school of kindergarten? When it's time for your son to wake up in first grade, he's woke before you. His clothes are on, his book bag is ready. Mom, can we leave now? Second grade, he's still motivated. Third grade, he's still motivated. And then in the fourth grade, a transformation begins to take place. When it was the first day of school for fourth grade, you notice he didn't even get out of bed. He asked you if you can stay home. What happened to that young man? Who killed his motivation and how did they kill it? I'm telling you, the problem in the school is not the black boy's unwillingness to learn. The biggest problem we have in public, private, parochial, and charter school, and you're talking to a principal, not just a psychologist, the biggest problem we have is that the black boy is often expected to behave like a female in order to be successful. That's the biggest problem in our school. That's the biggest problem in our school. Have you not noticed? Have you not noticed that 97% of all teachers in America are female? Have you not noticed that of that 97% female teacher base, 98% of them are something other than African? Have you not noticed? So the problem with the black boy is not education. It is racism times sexism. He first suffers because he's black, and then he suffers because he's not a girl. And we get mad at him when he can act like a female. How can you expect a child to sit still for 7 hours straight? Most of you can't even sit still for 7 hours straight. Are you kidding me? He goes to a school where there's no recess. He goes to a school where there's no gym. He goes to a school with no after-school programs, and he lives in a home where his parents doesn't even give him structured physical activity. The boy is growing hormones, testosterone that he needs to release. But instead he's told, just sit still and listen to the teacher as she moves in slow motion at the front of the board. If I was in charge of the schools in Milwaukee, what's the first thing I'd do? First thing I would do as superintendent is I would have a massive national black male teacher recruitment campaign until the teacher in the classroom looks like the child in the classroom. They will not learn and grow. So what are you saying, Dr. Umar's sisters should quit their job? Of course not. Every school needs to be balanced with both female energy and masculine energy. We need them both. In my school, we're going to have female energy and masculine energy. We got boys who never had their mothers. We got boys with poor relationships with their mothers. We got boys who need to learn how to respect and protect the black woman. The woman must be in the child's life. But that doesn't take away from the fact that what he craves is his father's validation. What he craves is something that looks like him. Not as the MTA, not as the probation officer, not as the classroom assistant, but as the instructional leader. We gotta give them men. So at the Fred Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, we're gonna give them those men. At that school, we're gonna teach your children agricultural and agronomical science. They're gonna learn how to use their hands and grow and take care of their bodies by the food that they eat. Yes, sir. Imhotep said, let food be thy medicine. Are you aware, Wisconsin, that 85% of black people who die prematurely die from diet-related medical diseases? And not only do we die from diseases related to the food that we eat, we die not necessarily from the disease itself, but from the medicine they gave us to deal with the disease. The medicine is killing black people more than the disease. It wasn't heart disease that killed grandma. It was the heart disease medicine. It wasn't diabetes that killed auntie. It was the diabetes medicine. So we got to go back to nature, brothers and sisters. We got to get our taste buds in order. And so we're going to teach our children that. We're going to teach them financial and economic science. Because sending black kids to college as a solution is causing more problems than it solves. How many of us sitting in this auditorium went to college and sitting on student loans that we can barely pay the hell back? And all we want to do is send our kids to college so they can be a slave to the banks just like we are. We got to say no to that. Do you recognize what America has done? America has exploited black people's desire to get an education because once upon a time we couldn't. So as soon as our children graduate, we want to send them off to UCLA, send them off to Harvard and Howard, send them off to Texas and University of Minnesota. We want to send them off to the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Nothing's wrong with that if your child wants to be a doctor. Nothing's wrong with that if your child wants to be a lawyer. Nothing's wrong with that if they want to be a teacher, an engineer, a psychologist. But a lot of your children do not necessarily want to be something that requires a college education. So why the hell you sending them? We got to give our children options. So in my school, children will master real estate as a freshman in high school. In my school, they will master stocks and trades and investments on Wall Street as a 10th grader. In my school, they will have a business plan by the time they've done the 11th grade. We want to teach our kids how you get paid without college. Because America has set up a situation where they send all the black people to college and the white folks keep all the damn money. So we got all the degrees and they got all the wealth. We got all the education and they got all the capital. You working on your third master's and broke as hell. We got to change that up for the children. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Go get a job. You can't get the job because you're underqualified. So you go back to school, you go to Milwaukee Area Technical College, get you a 2-year bachelor's degree. You come back, still not qualified enough, sir. So then you go to the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Guess what? 4-year bachelor's degree. Come back, still not qualified. You go back and go to Chicago and get you a master's degree. Come on back,
overqualified.
Still not qualified. You go get a second master's. Come back again. Now this time they didn't remix the game. Before you was underqualified and now you, what in the hell is overqualified? Can somebody explain that to me? What is overqualified? What is that? If I want to sweep floors at McDonald's to keep the lights on in my house, who are you to tell me I can't take the job because I have too much education? See, that's why you got to understand white racism. You got to understand white supremacy. And a lot of you don't understand it. It's the invisible giant. It influences every day of your life, but you can't see it because the new racism, Milwaukee, the new racism is to act like there is no racism. So if you cannot see it, it'll occur right in front of your face and run circles around you. I had a black man tell me, well, maybe if white folk accept Islam, racism will go away. He said, Negro, you crazy. Then somebody else told me, maybe if you accept Jesus, racism will go away. Somebody else told me, once we educated white folk on the greatness of ancient African civilization, once they knew that we built the pyramids and charted the skies, and develop every single discipline in the world, maybe they will respect us better. I said, brother, let me explain something to you. The more white people learn of your greatness, the more racist they will become. White supremacy is not about ignorance. White supremacy is not about religion. White supremacy is about power. We want to rule, we want to control. And guess what, black people? It's not even personal. Some of you got white friends and co-workers and y'all get along all right, and that's okay, but guess what? That's personal. When it comes to the business of keeping white folks in charge of the banks of Milwaukee, things change. When it comes to